management system, and the team members, Bikram Chaudhary, Terry Weirdo, and Melissa Ortuno. These are with 3 people. Okay. And this is our complete ER diagram of employee management system. To explain, we have employee ID, which is the primary key, and then it has a name, age, gender, department, which is foreign key, position. A relationship is as works in, so one employee can work in many departments. An employee can have more than one positions, and then relationship, employee can receive salaries. So right here, each employee belongs to one department, but department can have multiple employees. Likewise, department has department ID, which is the primary key, name, manager ID, and then manager ID is foreign key. Relationship, one manager, so each department has one manager. Similarly, position, relationship will be an employee holds a position. A position can be assigned to multiple employees. Likewise, leave records, leave ID is a primary key, employee ID is a foreign key, and then there's going to be a leave type column. Relationship, an employee can have multiple leave records, one or many. One employee can request multiple leaves. And then assignment ID is primary key, employee ID is foreign key. Description, relationship assigned to one assignment for one employee. An employee can have multiple assignments. Then we have access control, which is a user ID, primary key, role, and permissions. An employee can have control of their only one department. And similarly, payroll ID, primary key, employee ID, foreign key, salary, bonuses, deductions. These are the other columns. And then payroll references salary. And then we have time spent in the company. Time ID is primary key, employee ID is foreign key, years, months. These are 4 columns. Relationship records, time spent, employee one or many, tracks, employee tenure, and lastly we have attendance. Attendance ID foreign key, employee ID foreign key, check in, check out. So one employees can clock in and clock out multiple times. So this is the complete ER diagram right here, as you can see. And alright, so let's start our DBMS, and here's the code. All the tables that we have: employee table, department, leave record, assignments, access control, payroll, time spent, attendance, and these are some of the data that we have put it in. Okay, let's start with the employee table. So if we want to perform one query, so let's just say select everything from employee, and then if we run it, it will show this. This is our output: employee ID, name, age, gender, department, position. Okay, so that's for employee. And let's do one aggregate query. And then if we do aggregate query to retrieve employee count, okay. Select department ID count everything as total employee. So this will create a column from employee. I'm forgetting P here. Alright. Employee, and then we group by department ID. Let's run this. Okay, there you go. This is the output. We got department and the total employee. So this is an aggregate query, and let's do one joint query for this. Okay. So if we do select employee underscore ID name as department underscore name. So this will give the employee with their department detail from employee, and we're gonna put join department D on department ID equal to the department ID, and then we run this. This is what we get. So it gives us the information of the employee name, what department, and the employee ID. Okay, that's the joint query for employee. Now we have to do it for another one. Let's do it for department now. Table name, okay, and then let's run one query. Select everything from department. So this is what we get. Department name. So this is all we have in the department table. If we run, let's run the aggregate on this as well. So we do select name as department name, and then we have to do count employee underscore ID as total employee, and then we have to get that from department, and then we do the join. So left join, and then employee department ID equal to department ID, and then group by okay, let's run this, and this is what we get. Department name and then total employees. These are the two columns that we created. HR, how many employees we have. So one, I am in one. Okay, and let's do one more, a joint query for this table. It's gonna be okay. Let's get the list of employees in the department using the join statement. So let's do select name as employee underscore name, and then the name as department name, and then we get that from employee table, and then we put the join statement, join department D on E department D equal to D department ID, and we run this, and this is wicked. So these are the two that we created, two tables. Employee department, Charlie, finance. So this is the example of joint query for department table. Similarly, let's create for another one. So table number 3, which is going to be position table. So let's run one query, and then if we want, let's just do the easiest one, select everything from position, and then once we run it, this is what we have: position ID, position name, and the description. That's for position. And let's do aggregate query for position table. Just going to be select p dot p position name count e employee ID as total employees, and then we get that from position table, put it as P, and then we have to do left join, so we have to join employee table as well, employee so we're joining E with a P. Okay, let's start again. Left join employee E on P position I. Let's put capital here, and then E dot POSIT position ID, and then lastly we'll put group by POSIT position name. And then we'll run it. This is what we get. So position name and total employee, these are the two columns that has been created. There it is, position and employee. So this is an example of aggregate function, aggregate query for position table. Yeah. And then lastly, we want to do one join. Let's do. So this will select E name as employee name, P position name from employee, and then join statement. Position ID equal to P dot POSIT position ID. Here it is, and let's run it. So this is what we get: employee name and then position name, because these are the two that we created. And then we joined position and then employee name. So position and employee. All right, so that is the joint statement for employee. Sorry, that's the joint query for position. Now let's do for table number 4. In total we have 9 tables, so we are in table number 4, which is leave record. So we do just run in a random query. So select everything from leave records, and then we run this. This is what we have at the moment for everything as leave records, leave ID, employee ID, leave type, start date, end date, and status. These are the 6 columns that we have at the moment. Okay, let's run an aggregate query for leave record table. So we do select employee ID, and then we do sum, so that will add date diff, so it will show the date different, and date, start date as total leave and days. So this will create a total leave days column. It will be, we're getting from leave records table, and then we just group by employee ID. Okay, let's run this. Yeah, here it is. So this is the output. We have the employee ID, and then how many leave days that each employee whose ID number 1 is have, how many days that he has taken days off. That's the aggregate query, and let's do the joint query for leave record tables. So we do select the name, or leave, if you leave type, start date, and then end date, status. From leave records LR, that's the we created, and then lastly we have to do the join function, employee on LR, and then employee ID equal to. So we are combining 2 tables, which is employee table as well as leave record tables here, and then we run it. This is the output that we have, ls, and then vacation if they're approved and not approved. So this is the joint statement for leave record tables. Now we're in table number 5. Let's do another one for assignment table. Okay, so let's do one query, which is, of course, we're going to use the select everything because that's the easiest one. Select everything from assignment table, and this is what we have, everything in the assignment table. Assignment ID, employee ID, description, start date, end date, status. Okay, that's okay. Let's run, and then if we run an aggregate query for assignment table, so select employee ID, name, So this will get the total assignments per employee as total assignments, okay, and then we're getting from assignment table, and then we have to group by employee ID. Okay, and then if we run it, this is what we have. The output, total employee ID and the total assignment that we created. And this is the total count, so how many assignments that each employee has. So at the moment, just one. Alright, and let's just do a joint query for assignment. So let's just show all assignments with the employee and their department tables. Okay, so we do select a department. Okay. PTI description as assignment, name as employee underscore name, name as department. Let's just put capital over here, okay, and then from assignment A, and then we have to do a joint query right here, employee on A, employee ID equal to E, employee ID, and then again we have to do department on E department ID equal to D, there. So this will create description of the assignment, and then employee name, and then department name. So this will connect the three tables: department tables, employee tables, and the assignment tables. And then if we run this, okay, let's see what is wrong. Assignment, I think I have done something wrong here. Select the assignment name as employee, department name, select okay, so run this, select everything, select description as assignment. Okay, let's just go focus on another one. So let's just do another table. This is going to be access control, so select everything from access control. So this is what we have for the access control. User ID, employee role, okay. Let's do aggregate question, aggregate query for control. It's gonna be select role, and so it's gonna count employees per access level. Count, and then employee, employee score ID as total users from access control, and then we just group by row, and then we run it. This is what we have: role and the total users, how many users we have as an admin. So let's do a joint query for this, which will be get the all employees with the access level. So select name, role, access control, and then permissions. Okay, and then from access control AC, and then one joint statement employee on AC employee ID equal to employee ID. Then we run it. This is what we get. So this combines employee ID and access control table. So these two tables, it joins two tables to get this. Okay, and let's do for another table now. It's gonna be insert. It's gonna be the role table, payroll. Yeah. Select everything from payroll. Let's run this query. So this is everything we have in the payroll: employee ID, salary, bonuses. Okay, let's do aggregate query for this. Select name as department name sum. So this will get the difference P. So this will give us the total salary paid by department. So P, which is going to be salary as total salary. Here's the salary, and then from payroll P, and then we have to do join statement. It's going to be join employee on P employee ID equal to employee ID, and then again I have to do join employee. Oh, sorry, we have to do department. So this will connect three tables, which is the employee, payroll, and the department. So department ID equal to department ID, and then lastly we just group them by their names. Okay, let's run this, and here it is, the output. Department name that we created, and then total salaries that we created right here. So it connected using the joint query. We connected department, payroll, and an employee table. All right. Similarly, let's do for another table, which we have the time spent. So select everything from time spent table, and then if we run it, this is what we have, everything for time. Let's do an aggregate query for this as well. Okay, let's do it. So let's get the average employee duration using aggregate query. Select average, and then years as average years, VG, which is going to be the months for this one. Month as AVG months. Okay, and from time spent table, and here you go. This is what our output is. So average years that we created and average months. So this is what we have for aggregate query, and let's do a joint query for this table as well. Let's get employees their tenure duration using a joint query. So select e name, so we get their years, and then months from time spent table, and then we'll do the join statement, join employee e on employee underscore ID equal to e employee ID, and then run this. This is our output. So it gave us the employees with their how many years, months they have spent in the company. So it disconnected time spent table and the employee table, and that is the joint query for time spent duration. And this is going to be the last table, which is attendance table. So let's do select everything from attendance, and then if we run it, this is what we have: attendance table, attendance ID, employee ID, check in and check out. And let's run aggregate query for attendance table, which is going to be okay. So select employee ID. So this will get the total hour work per employee per month, and then month check in as month, and then let's just use sum statement as well to add it. Sum times spent difference, and then it's gonna be our check in, check out as total hours. This will be created from attendance table, and lastly we're just going to group by employee ID and the month. Check in. Here it is. This is the output in attendance ID, employee ID, check in and check out. So this is what we all got. Now we do the join query for attendance table, which is going to be to get the payroll details of employee attendance with their payroll details. So if we do this, let's do it. Select name a check in, a check out, salary PVON USS bonuses. Okay, and then from attendance, so this will connect employee payroll attendance table, so it will connect 3 tables basically. And now we need the join statement. Join employee E on a employee ID equal to E employee ID, and then again to join the department, the payroll. Join payroll P on E employee ID equal to P employee ID. And let's run this. Okay, here it is. This is again, that's the check in, check out. We have this is the output for join query, disconnected employee payroll, and then attendance table. Yep. So this is all the aggregates, all the queries that we've gone through. So we've gone through from employee tables to employee to department, positions, leave record, assignments, and then access control, payroll, time spent, attendance, total 9 tables, and we have covered one query and one aggregate query, and then one joint query for all of them.